pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call: Supervisors Fisher, Aguizio, Savavik, Cassiola, and Fleer. In addition, Township Manager Don Januso, Planning Director and Assistant Township Manager Jack King, Chief of Police Sean Bekovinsky, Director of Public Works Bill Bodorf, Engineer Dan Dizeroth of Gateway Engineers, and Township Solicitor Attorney Gretchen Moore. Before we get started, I just want to announce that we had an executive session at 6:30 this evening to discuss with council the CHJA agreements. At this point, comments will be taken at this time for any item to be voted on by the board that appears on the agenda. General Township comments or questions will be addressed after the Board of Supervisors discussion of old business. Please step to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Okay. I won't read you the announcements, but I encourage you. One thing I would like to call out is the Toys for Tots drive this Saturday from 9 until noon. Bring an unwrapped toy valued at $5 or greater. Monetary donations will be accepted. Please make checks payable to the Greater Washington County Toys for Tots. For more information, please call Mark Secreti, Rich Coder, or this Toys for Tots number, and there's going to be some awesome auction items, so please take some time to come down. Resolution 195, 2019, consider adopting a 10-ton weight limit on the portion of Hahn Road between Georgetown Road and Maple Lane as recommended by the township engineer.
Members of the board, this is an item that has been brought more to our attention because of the development that's occurring over on Hahn Road related to the traditions of American development. There is a bridge along Hahn Road that was repaired a number of years ago, actually structurally repaired. It has been functioning for the amount of traffic that's on the road. We've instructed people and the developers, people that are doing the construction on the road to stay off of this portion of the road, but we think it would be prudent just to sign and weight limit this portion of the road, just that everybody is aware of the issue and that there's no question that they should not be passing this portion of the road with heavy traffic. We have done weight limit analysis that we'll give to the township manager to have on record, which you need to adopt such a limit, and that's the report. I would advise, and I've talked to Dawn about this, that future capital budget include some money to replace this with a box culvert because it is a portion of the township that appears is now going to be developed more with these houses that are going to go in the traditions of American development and other property over in that area that would be looking to come back to get onto 79 via Hahn Road. And Bill's improved most of the other portion of the road, paved it. So that's our recommendation.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5. 196, 2019, consider application for payment to and final for the work completed to date for the Contract A 2019 Pavement Maintenance Program milling and paving in the amount of $23,716.70 to Youngblood Paving as recommended by the township engineer.
Thank you. This payment's to clean up the closeout for Contract A, which is our liquid fuels contract. All the work has been completed, and they've addressed all the punch list items, and we're making the recommendation for payment based on that.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. 197, 2019, consider application for payment number 1 and final for the work completed for the Contract D 2019 Pavement Maintenance Program Fiber Reinforced Seal Coat in the amount of $49,520 to Russell Standard as recommended by the township engineer.
Thank you. This was the project that was done over at the South Point development on Town Center Way and the adjacent streets. So look a Console Drive. It took a little bit of time for Russell Standard to get their paperwork finalized, but we're recommending payment.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Cindy. Can I say something on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe, we talked the other day with Renato and him up there that if they're not sealed the same year, that we're not going to seal them anymore?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron. 198, 2019, consider the final invoice for the work completed to repair a storm sewer and inlet in Town Center Way in the amount of $12,500 to Stewart Contracting as recommended by the township engineer.
Yes, this was to fix that larger diameter storm sewer that was right there in the roundabout of Town Center Way that had the collapse. Stewart fixed the sewer, and then we had the electrician put the pole, Public Works put the pole back up and is re-energizing the lights. So all the work's been completed and we're satisfied.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. 199, 2019, consider the subdivision plan application 2019-024 for Alto Piano Phase 6 revised Lot 610, part of the planned residential development plan previously approved by the board on September 14, 2019, location Breezewood Drive, R1, low-density residential zoning district, applicant William Graziani Sr. The plan received planning commission approval on November 21st, 2019.
Yeah, this is the continuing development of lots in Alto Piano. The roads have been paved for a long time. They keep taking down individual lots. This is the subdivision of one lot to create Lot 610, and then its remnant parcel, which is 6A1, and there's nothing really special about this plan. They've addressed the comments that we had on it, like said in the agenda item, the planning commission recommended approval. So it's ready for your consideration.
Is it just for the consolidation so they can build a house on it?
Yeah, what happened was we continue to see the subdivision plans. For tax purposes, they paved all the roads and they left them in parcels. So instead of subdividing individual lots because they get taxed to a greater degree when they have them individually subdivided, ready for the lots. They keep them in bigger chunks and then chop them down.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. 200, 2019, consider the 2020 tax levy resolution of 1.05 mils for general purpose, 0.27 mils for fire protection, and 0.18 mils for road machinery, total millage of 1.5. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 5-0. 201, 2019, consider contacting the Washington County Election Office to request a change in the polling location from St. Mary's Church. A little bit of background on this. Frank, do you want to?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I had a meeting this morning with Melanie Ostrander, the head of the Washington County Elections Office, and there seemed to be a misunderstanding among some of the residents that the Cecil Township Board of Supervisors voted to change and add additional precincts in the township, when the fact of the matter is the Common Pleas Court in January 27, 2017 made this decision. The Elections Office began working on this in 2016 when they started receiving complaints about overcrowding at certain of our precinct polls, namely Muse Fire Hall and Cecil Fire Hall. I've been told by workers who register these voters at these polls if they would add another machine, that would help. The elections response was they have to follow the election code of not having more than 1,200 voters at any one precinct. They still have a problem, I'm being told, with 1,500 voters at Muse, and Hilton Garden Inn is now our largest voting precinct with 2,000 people. These changes were planned for prior to to accommodate the 2020 presidential election. Being we are in the middle of a census year, these boundary redistricting lines cannot be changed. However, we can petition the Elections Office to close the voting precinct of St. Mary's Church, provided we find another voting precinct that has to be handicap accessible The parking has to be good, and there's 3 other criterias we would have to meet. Okay. With continual housing growth in Cecil Township, seems to be, it's going to be an ongoing problem.
Ron, do you want to speak to this at all since you were at that polling place that day? Kind of explain why we're requesting this?
Well, there was some elderly people with walkers, and by the time they got down the ramp and back the ramp, they were soaking wet. And on top of that, for some reason, they painted their concrete steps. And I seen several people, when it was raining, slip and fall there. It's just bad location.
Do I have a motion then to contact the Washington County election to request a change?
Could I have more discussion, or?
Sure.
Were there complaints, though, or were there issues?
Yeah.
How many of them, of the 1,500, or how many are voting at that place?
How many actual complaints?
Yeah.
I
you know that?
don't know.
Eric, I was there all day. It's terrible. It's a long walk down the ramp and a long walk back. It's just terrible.
Unappropriate, handicapped,
Not at all.
accessible?
Yeah, it is handicapped.
It wasn't appropriate in general. People that even weren't handicapped were falling down the stairs because of the way that the setup is and how you had to go down the stairs to get into the church's basement.
I had a couple of ladies tell me that they'll never vote again because they're not going through that again.
I just was wondering why we're involved in this, or,
They can't just make the change. Now that they've said it, we have to make a request. So we've been reached out to. They have gotten complaints and we've gotten complaints. When we reach out to them, they said the only way they could make that change is if we formally requested it.
And the residents are blaming us, Eric. We have nothing to do with it.
did someone speak with the church yet? Are they receiving some money for being a voting location, or do they mind that we take this away, or has that been thought of or brought up? Or maybe that's something you could ask as well, Dawn.
It's
I
not a
don't think
matter
they
of money or anything. It's
But
safety.
you're making that decision for St. Mary's, and we don't know what
No, I'm
what
making it
agreement
for
they-
the residents,
what
not
they
St.
have put in
Mary's.
place.
Yeah, I mean, I think with all due respect, I actually attend St. Mary's Church. With all due respect to St. Mary's Church, it's not about the money St. Mary's Church receives. It's about the residents who were physically getting harmed trying to vote there.
I understand. Do we have an alternative place, or
Not at this point.
Frank, do you have a thought on that?
We can aid in the system in finding a new place. At this area of the township, there's not too much to choose from. Someone's mentioned the CCD down across from Southbridge. I don't know if the facility's big enough. We'd have to look at it, if there's ample parking. I don't know if that'd be able to accommodate.
It is big. I've been inside. My kids went to CCD there. There was a question about whether or not, because they moved CCD from there, about a code, but we're happy to assist them. We just need to come up with another location.
Upstairs, in Muse Club.
Yeah. So we can, do I have a motion to contact the Washington to
I'll make a
request
motion.
change? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 202-2019, consider the settlement agreement with Cannonsburg-Houston Joint Authority and authorize Ramel Nicholas to sign the agreement. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. Ron abstained. 4-0. 203-2019, consider authorizing Deluzio to perform the forensic audit of Cannonsburg-Houston Joint Authority with shared cost among all 5 participants in the settlement agreement. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 5-0. 204-2019, consider the minutes from the Monday, November 4th, 2019 monthly meeting of the Cecil Township Board of Supervisors. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 205-2019, consider the minutes from the Wednesday, November 20th, 2019 special meeting of the Cecil Township Board of Supervisors. All those in favor, do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 206-2019, consider the general fund invoices from November 1st through November 30th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. Administrator reports. Engineer, Dan?
The board is in receipt of my report. For the month, the only thing that I have not covered is that the Green Light Go project, which the board approved taking place, there's been a pre-construction meeting on that. The contractor has started the process of coordinating with PennDOT, and things are moving along. Other than that, I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Any other questions? Solicitors report.
Hi, everyone. It's been a fairly quiet month, basically working with the manager, the engineer, and your zoning officer on just day-to-day legal matters and assistance as requested, as well as working with several developers on developers' agreements and development issues. Other than that, it's been fairly quiet.
That's good. Bill, Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just a few things of note. County Line Road officially closed to through traffic last week, the 26th of November, and now it is cul-de-sac, or will be cul-de-sac on both ends, the Morganza Road end and the County Line Road end. Also, Morgan Road has been opened to through traffic. This through traffic condition will continue until the 16th of December. At that time, it'll be closed to through traffic. It's being held open to through traffic to accommodate wreaths across America. Also, want to make mention that the leaf collection has officially ended. We made one final pass through the communities this afternoon to pick up all leaves that were blown around last week, last Wednesday during the windstorm. Park-related issue, tennis courts will be officially closed as of tomorrow. We'll take the nets down for the winter storage, and the Public Works Department is prepared for winter maintenance operations. It pains me to say that. And one more note for everyone. This year's Toys for Tots campaign is being done in Dan Wassick's honor. We're going to honor Danny. We have a photo montage we'll have in place down there. Danny was always the Santa Claus for the Toys for Tots, so we'll honor his memory this coming Saturday from 9 till 12 o'clock. Thank you very much.
I love that. Thank you. Board of Supervisors discussion of new business.
Yeah. Wendy, I seen on social media and people complaining about Georgetown Road. The chief and myself have been working with the Turnpike for them to pay for 2 police officers and lighting down there. Now, the chief is waiting for an email back from Harrisburg. So we are working on that problem down there.
Anyone else? Board of Supervisors discussion of old business. Go ahead.
I have 2 items to bring up. I'm going to make a motion that we apply for that 2020 AML grant for the Muse Slate Dump cleanup, as suggested by Mark Shepard of ABB. The deadline to apply is January 30th, and we either have to apply or we'll miss out on that one. So I'll make it in the form of a motion that we apply.
I haven't even seen it.
No, second.
It should have been, that should have been an agenda item. I don't even know how you expect us to vote on something we haven't seen.
It's just a grant. We got that email from them last week, or from Gretchen, or I mean last month. And I looked into it, and it's basically for slate dump cleanups.
You got an email from me last, I don't remember.
I had updated the manager after my discussions with the solicitor for ABB. I haven't looked at the grant application, but I was told it's out, and there's a due date of the end of January.
Dawn sent it to us last month.
I don't know, I don't remember, so I can't even vote one way or the other, I have no idea. I would say no. Well, do I have, you made a motion, is there a second?
I said second.
I thought you brought up last month that you didn't want things brought up like that, Eric. Right?
Okay, we have to open this up to public comment.
made a
Like,
second.
I've asked this before,
Pardon
and
me?
I'll ask it again.
made a
In the
second.
future, if there is an item like this, it needs to be an agenda item. The public has a right to know. We have the right to be able to look into it ourselves and know what we're voting on. So we have to open it up for public comment now. Any comments? Please step to the microphone. I would ask that this be tabled. I make a motion that we table this for at least a month.
I second.
Yeah, that's not a proper motion.
Why?
There's a motion on the floor.
Okay,
It's not proper you bring it up without it being on the agenda.
Gretchen, you gotta tell her.
he did.
It's not
All
proper
right,
him
so,
bringing it up without
okay,
being
so
on
there
the
was a
agenda.
motion and a second. Let's open it up for public comment. Nobody commented. Let's take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
What are we voting on?
I
All
have
those
no
op-
knowledge of this.
I know. All those
Me neither.
opposed?
Aye.
No. You're saying, you're voting on the grant. You're saying you're opposed to the grant?
Yes.
Okay,
No, the
so,
motion was to apply for the grant.
right, there's 2 ayes opposed. Do you want to apply for the grant or not?
No.
Okay, so there's 3 no, so it fails for, if you want it on the agenda, if you want something like that to be voted on properly, put it on the agenda so we have the opportunity to look at what we're voting on.
All right, then I also make a motion that the board inform ABB that the township does intend to honor that agreement we have with them for that agreement of sale on ABB property. It's all hanging out in limbo, so I make a motion to that effect.
And a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor signify by saying
You
aye.
have discussion?
Yeah, I should probably open it up to, any comment from the public?
I'm not even sure what the motion is. What is the motion?
That we inform ABB that we intend to honor the existing sales agreement.
Okay, I would say that this is a topic that we've been discussing in executive session, there have been legal discussions about this. I don't think it's proper to be voting on, there's nothing to vote on right now. We haven't even had,
No,
the
we-
board
we-
hasn't had
no,
an
we
executive
have an
session.
existing sales agreement, that's all I'm saying, that we have an existing sales agreement.
Let her know on it.
There's nothing to vote on. There's a contract that's in place at the moment, and there's no action item that I'm aware of to make it this time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's, last month, the board voted something not to, finish the study, the engineering study. So I mean, if they're not going to finish the engineering study, are we still going to honor their agreement? It's legitimate action.
So let's take a step back. So if you want this done properly, let's ask Gretchen to have an executive session with our board prior to the next board meeting, and then we'll add it as an agenda item so that the public has the right to know, and then we can vote on it. We don't even know again, this is the same as a grant. I don't know what I'm voting on.
I thought we voted to withdraw from the sales agreement.
Not yet. No,
You haven't voted to take any official action related to the agreement. I'm happy to have an executive session with the board.
That's my point. We haven't taken any action yet, so I'm just saying that let's take action to say
We
we will
voted
honor the
not to move
agreement. that we
forward.
have.
After such time that we've had an executive session, if the board chooses to take action, they can come out
No,
here and take
that
action.
isn't my motion. My motion was to just inform them we will honor it, and there's a second. Either vote on it or not.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I wouldn't even vote on this. It's not a thing.
Aye.
It's a legitimate motion.
Aye.
I vote aye.
All those opposed? No,
No.
it dies.
All right, then, to our solicitor, and again, Gretchen, I would brought this up to you and give you a chance to respond earlier, but you won't take calls or take emails. So I'm asking you, how do we recoup that $258,000 that we've spent?
Tom, stop.
There has been no formal action to break the agreement or to do anything related to that particular contract.
all right.
If this board decides after executive session to take formal action, then you can come out here and do this. I don't regard anything that's just happening right now as any kind of formal action because we have not had any executive session and discussed the direction the board wants to take. So I would suggest this board sit down with me in executive session like I've asked on multiple occasions. I'm happy to do that anytime. After that time, the board can come out and make a formal decision on how it wants to proceed.
Okay, that's good advice.
Can you step to the microphone?
What happened to the bond that we had?
Can you step to the microphone, sorry? Just for the camera recording purposes.
Tony Zombeck, Muse. What happened to the grant that we supposedly had and didn't take?
We never had it.
We never were formally
No, we
awarded a
did not.
grant.
You were not awarded the grant.
We were
Yeah,
never
we
formally
awarded
awarded
it.
a
We
grant.
just didn't have the public announcement because the
It was never awarded.
There was questions about it.
We're not going to agree on this. We were not formally awarded. If you can find a public award of this, I would accept it here publicly. We were never.
But it's too late now, though.
Formally.
It's
Yeah, it's
gone.
gone.
There's-
They pulled, we had the letter saying that they would hold it.
Do you have a
for-
copy of that letter?
From the DEP saying they'll hold it, but not too much longer. They
There
wouldn't
is no
guarantee how long
letter.
they'll hold it.
There is
Well,
no
Time
letter.
passed, and then they told us it's gone. So we had it. They never made a formal public announcement of it. But we had it, they held it for us, they told us they're holding it, and they finally pulled it. So we
Okay.
have that.
That is absolutely not true.
Second question, this just came into mind when Tom said the solicitor wouldn't return calls or emails. Why is that?
I don't believe
That's
that.
absolutely not true either. I regularly email her if I have a I shouldn't say regularly,
Well,
because it doesn't.
apparently she won't return calls to Tom. Is
So-
there only certain ones?
As it relates to this topic, I'm speaking to the board as a board altogether in executive session. I've informed the board that that's how we're going to have discussions about this topic, so that there aren't any one-off discussions. As it relates to anything else, this board knows they're free to contact me as needed if they have limited questions. But as to this topic, we're only talking, in executive session as a group, so that there isn't any miscommunication because it's such a highly charged topic.
I didn't mean for just this property. I didn't mean to imply that it was for other township businesses.
And just so it's clear, I won't go into executive session because somebody has litigation against us.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I will not go into executive session because a board member has litigation suing us.
We are still being sued.
I thought you said that was over last month.
There was a second lawsuit filed. All right, moving on. Anything else? I'll bring up something. So this afternoon, Dan Dizeroth, Frankie Gizio, and I presented the LSA grant for bridges in Cecil Park in front of the Washington County Redevelopment Authority Board. We had 2 whole minutes to present and then 3 minutes worth of questions. So it's the next step in the grant process. We won't know for another couple of months whether or not we've been awarded the grant, but we did move to the next step in the next process of the grant application for the 4 bridges in Cecil Park. We'll now open it up for citizens' general comments and questions. Okay. At this point, if there's no comments or...
Gentleman stood up.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Strain. I looked down when you stood up.
Kenny Strain, 4022 Sir James Drive, Windsor Woods. I just had a question. At the last supervisors meeting, the township engineer said that you guys presented a plan to Range Resources about. Is there any update on that at all?
The plan has been presented to them. We've tried to contact them on numerous occasions, trying to see what the status is on their end as a response to that plan. As of tonight, we have not heard, but as soon as we do, we'll inform the board.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Dan, they did move the one utility pole.
Did you get them to do that, Bill?
I didn't know that they had completed that operation. I knew they were out there with the Verizon crew. Well, the Verizon crew was out there with their pole. I didn't know that they had completed.
Yeah, they moved.
I've been out of the office for the past.
Yeah, we know.
I'm glad. I'll take a look tomorrow.
There's one new pole put in further back.
At this point, this meeting is adjourned.